Well, good morning, everyone, wherever you are, or evening or afternoon or something like that. It's Sunday and it's 9:06 if you're in Europe, and it's 5:06, now 5:07 here in Punta del Este. I had a bit of a hiccup. I couldn't get the tracker to reboot, update. It was strange. Usually it's pretty good, but for some reason, I couldn't get it, and that's one of the last things I do is just update and then share it to our below program here, and it wasn't happening. So sorry about the delay on coming here. I wasn't asleep, even though we haven't had much sleep last night, although I was this afternoon and just woke up just in time. It's been a few crazy days, but last night and today we had 3 boats arrive, which was good to see. Started off with L'Esprit de Keep in the rain and the wind. They nearly got in before us. It was quite classic. We had an ETA for them, and there was a scramble just at the last minute. If you've watched it, you might have seen a little brief explanation. So anyway, that sort of worked, and we managed to catch them. Although we blew another gimbal. We seem to be going through gimbals like crazy. They don't like water. And we thought it might have survived because it's freshwater with the rain, but it didn't. So we're now back onto another auxiliary one, and we'll have to get some more backups. Yeah, a lot of little issues there, but it was fun. It was great to see them. They were happy to be here, so they're all set. And then the next one was Galliana with Secure. Galliana is such a good-looking boat. And it was great to see. They were flying their drones, so if you keep an eye out for their Facebook page, you'll probably get to see some of that footage as well. And typical Tapio style, lots of different sponsors out in Finland. So I think he set 3 different spinnakers in the last minutes of flying down the course towards the finish, so they could provide photos for each of the sponsors as they're coming through. Crew extremely happy to be there. They're quite an exceptional team. Every team and entry in the OGR is different. It has a different backstory and so on. And the idea of Tapio being in this race is to perpetuate the Finnish tradition of racing around the world. And boy, he's doing it in style. He's got a whole, very young crew, selected from a big bunch of people. Been sailing a lot before the start of the race. They work like clockwork. It's good to see. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. And then Tapio, being the sailor he is, he never has any luck with his engines. He did 2 Golden Globe races, and both times were virtually new engines, and both times it created big issues. They weren't working and so on. And now once again, he couldn't start his engine, so we had to tow him into the backwards into the med style mooring here at the yacht club. That was interesting. We strapped our rib alongside their port quarter and tried to maneuver there, and others were pulling and pushing and stuff and got them in. So that was cool. Happy to see that. And then the last one, the last one is the even better story. I completely mucked up the ETA. We got Galliana in, and I'd actually said we have a WhatsApp group, and I advise everyone follows it. And in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning or something, when I got up to do the next checker, I checked it at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and then blah, blah. My final ETA, you might have seen it on Facebook for Outlaw. I said 10:15 local time, and 13:15 whatever it was in UTC. In actual fact, what happened was, when I picked it up off the tracker, I used my app then on my mobile, and I saw it was 10:15, but that was UTC, and so I then, in the time that I let it sink in my poor little brain, to the time I got the phone, because I had a few things going on, to update everyone before I rushed out the door, I thought it was 10:15 local time. So I put 10:15 local time, UTC 1300, then I rushed out here, quickly dumped it into the computer and went. So in my mind, it was 10:15 local. And I get back here after Galliana, and we're all pretty tired, and I'm just doing a few bits. I'm watching the Facebook Lives to see if everything worked. And all of a sudden, I get a message from Aviro, who's the coordinator logistics guy that we work with here at the yacht club, and he says, "Hey, Don, I think they're here in an hour and a half." And I said, "What?" And I looked. I said, "Oops." There was a big oops moment. So fortunately he saw that, otherwise we might have missed him completely. They might have just sailed over the line and said hello. So it was another big scramble to get down there. We had enough time. Fortunately he saw it, and we met up with Outlaw, and that was good to see. They came in very fast, very happy, under spinnaker again, and on the dock, and all is well. So you can see the lives, and it was a lot of fun. Let's just go straight into the tracker now, and we'll update you on everything that's happening there. You've got the tracker there. I come over here. I was happy to see that finally come up. No idea why it wasn't happening from my side of things. So we've only got 4 boats left on the track. There they are. We've got White Shadow limping along. Only been doing like 1 knot there at one stage. I'm doing 2.7. We've got Evrika there. We've got Sterner down the bottom, tackling the headwinds, and we've got Explorer doing the same thing. So they're not making any fast progress towards the finish. I think I'll do it all as one. I think you can see all that. Get up here. So Explorer currently doing 4.5 knots, starting to windward in pretty solid breezes. I'll just pick that up. When I say solid for windward work, that's probably pushing 20, gusting 20, 25 in the green, and gusting 28 or so in the orangey colour, dirty browny colour, and not making big progress. 147 mile day, 812 to the finish. So that's probably 5 days. Maybe more, depending on how much windward work they've got. All the entrants, when they're arriving, they're saying, well, it's a 1,000-mile slog to windward to get up to Punta, and it probably is, but you can get lucky. So Sterner doing 6.6 knots, 100 nautical mile day, so even less than Explorer, and 673 miles to go. So not too bad, getting closer. White Shadow doing 2.7. They were doing 1.4, I think it was previously, and 62 nautical mile day, so going nowhere fast. Evrika right in on the coast, probably enjoying listening to local radio stations. I remember I did that in the BOC. It was great coming up the coast here. You get all this Latin American and South American stuff, it was really cool and groovy. Still, only 4.1 knots and 86 mile day, so no one's making fast progress whatsoever, all a little bit slow. And if we just kick this back and let's see what the weather's doing, you can see it's a massive mishmash of nothing. You've got a high pressure here, you've got a big low, intense low pressure here, and in between that you've got these sort of joining bands of another low pressure down here going around. So it's very confusing. There's no dominant factor there except for the fact here, this is off the back of this growing high. This will probably grow bigger. I don't know what the center pressures are, but that looks like it's got a general flow around in a clockwise direction, being a high in the Southern Ocean, and it's likely to get stronger. So let's just see if we progress this forward, see what they're likely to get. So White Shadow and White Shadow and Evrika not going anywhere in a hurry. There's no wind there, and that's already into that's 24 hours. In the next 24 hours, White Shadow might get a little bit of a breeze from the southeast, which could help their cause a bit. And I wasn't watching Explorer then at all, or Sterner. So Sterner's got a mix. Explorer's going to get a shift from behind. So Explorer may actually catch some ground there. That's going to get interesting. They'll be very happy if they can get close to Sterner. So, Sterner gets caught in the middle of that high. That's actually a low, rather. And Explorer might get a bit of a shift. And then Sterner gets it. Very light winds from behind, so spinnaker's out. So in the first day, not much luck for the 2 up the top, a little bit better for the 2 down the bottom. So they're going to close in on each other. Let's just see where they are. It's kind of interesting. So Evrika is on the course. Let's say it's about there, 360 miles behind Sterner, so not so bad there. And Explorer is only about 150. They've been taking ground. I'll be happy with that. Taking ground, it could have, that's within striking distance if they're lucky. So there's going to be some fun to watch there. So that's the first day. Click it through, keep going. Then the headwinds are back for Explorer and Sterner, and really not a lot. If you look here for Sterner, for White Shadow and Evrika, they're only 230 miles, but they're still in nothing or light headwinds again by the second day. So they're going to be at least a couple of days away. They're not going to do that in a day. There's just nothing there. Anyway, it's pretty clear what Sterner and Explorer are going to get. So let's just now focus. That's 2 days' time. In 2 days, they're back in these light headwinds. At least it's nice sailing. Might even be blue sky. And that's probably 15 to 20 knot headwinds, maybe 10 to 20 knot headwinds at times. There's a bit patchy, but still hard work. They're going to have to tack. But as I say, 10 to 20 knots is much better than 20 to 30 knots, believe me. So just coming up to try and work out an ETA for Evrika and Stern and White Shadow. Let's see here. Okay. So I'm going to come back and be a bit more precise so we can see what's going on. Okay, so right now, Evrika's got headwinds tacking out of there even. It's a east northeasterly at the moment for them on the nose. That's right where they want to go. So they're trapped inshore. White Shadow's got a little bit better angle, but now it's not much wind strength at all. So you can see it dies out. This is in the next 12 hours. Then they've got a light following wind, Spinnaker's up. So they'll get that for probably, it's not so bad, maybe 12 hours, but it's still very slow. And before they even get there, so that's on the 20th, 2 days' time in the morning, they've got light headwinds again. So I think they won't make much better than 200-mile days. 2 by 100-mile days. And they've got 260 to go. So it's currently Sunday afternoon. That's Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be sometime late Tuesday for either of them. I think in these light weather conditions, also it's going to affect White Shadow. So White Shadow could be 3 days. They can't hoist their mainsail. They don't want to use a head sail because they've got no forestay. And that means if that's the case, it could be as much as 3 days. So we might see White Shadow sometime on Wednesday, and we might see Evrika sometime on Tuesday late. I think that's probably the best we can do. Leaderboard's interesting to watch now. So let's have a look. Most of the rankings are there. You can see what's happening. IRC, I want to see what is happening to Galiana with Secure. Okay, they didn't make it. So there's no penalties to add for Galiana. This is what I predicted previously. I've been saying on the course as they're coming in, I thought he still might be second, but I hadn't looked for a while in a day. But you may remember I was saying Galiana's not going fast, and I thought that Penjuic would possibly get across, but unlikely. But that just goes to show you how much they lost during this final approach. They just did not go fast enough. So now we've got Triana, 36 days, 7 hours, 36. Penjuic has settled in at 37 days, 18 hours. So that's 1 day and 9 hours behind Triana, which is still pretty cool. And that's after their penalty. They had a penalty there of 12 hours. Another big thing I'll explain in a minute. Don't go away, whatever you do. I'll explain there was some mix-ups with the timelines and penalties that were being applied. Anyway, Galiana was secure, 38 days, 1 hour, 29 minutes. So they missed it by 5.5 hours or so. And then Maiden, Maiden is only 7 hours or something, about 8 hours behind Galiana. Spirit of Helsinki is a day and 3 hours behind Maiden. And Neptune, they've had a big penalty applied there because of their sail repairs. They had 1 day and 12 hours. They actually declared 3 sail repairs. Each one was 12 hours, so that's knocked them back substantially. So now they're 12, 12, it's 9 hours or so, or 8 hours behind Spirit of Helsinki. That's the name of the game. Outlaw, now 40 days and 9 minutes, so they're back at 7th. White Shadow's still on the track, but they're obviously going to lose even more time on that because only 17 hours there. They've got a long way to go, so that's going to slip. They'll be slipping right back. The Esprit de Keep, they'll climb above. They will absolutely climb above White Shadow, so they'll take out 8th position, and then after that it goes depending on where everything is. I'm pretty certain Explorer will be last, but that's fine. They're having a wow of a time. So that's it. What I wanted to say, I'm coming back on to see you all here before I get into this. Where are we? Here we go. And I pop this and I'll pop up. Okay, so a brief explanation. There was a major reshuffle. Only those that watching the actual times on IRC and through the water will understand what's going on here. It was pointed out literally hours before the start in Auckland by the skipper and navigator of the L'Esprit de Keep that they believed their time penalty was doubled up on their finish times for leg 2. And we checked a few things and rechecked a few things, and it all looked pretty cool. Anyway, and there was some confusion about some of the IRC rankings, and also some of the when we were applying the penalties for leg 3, which related to sail repairs. So we had a big discussion and round table with the team at Yellow Brick, and all of a sudden everything made sense. What had happened was Yellow Brick have actually now incorporated an auto correction factor in their software for anything we give them, and they failed to tell us that. Okay, which is not a big deal. We're all human. When we make mistakes. I mean, I forgot to mention Triana at the press conference the other day because the teleprompt slide that I have up on the PowerPoint didn't pick up because of the other guys, and I completely forgot them, and they won the leg. I was a bit miffed about that, but it happens. It's a human problem. The guys in the AV set swapped over to something, and anyway, it happens. So all of a sudden, we realised that some of the penalties were applied double and so on. And so now, because what we didn't know, what they failed to tell us, was that there was an autocorrect, and so we then came in and manually inputted the time correction, and so they doubled up. So Lionel and Co on L'Esprit de Keep were completely correct. So we corrected that, and it resolved a couple of uncertain issues with the numbers that need a lot of cross-referencing to make sure they're correct. So now we're on the straight and narrow. What you see is what you get. The IRC rankings and processes on the leaderboard will be correct. And the other thing we don't do, we don't actually bring up who's what and where on the total accumulated time until all the boats of a particular leg have been finished, crossed the finish line. And the reason for that is you'll end up with all these other little bits and pieces that don't make sense. So we have a simple process that once everyone's crossed the line, we will then do the next accumulation for leg 3. We currently have on the website the accumulated times and everything for leg 1 and 2. And at the end of, once everyone's in, we'll go boom, and you'll see the accumulated time for leg 3. So you'll be able to look and make your own opinions on how everything's going. It's all very exciting. Everyone's having a great time. I've had quite a few of the entrants come up to, or the sailors, the crews on their boats here that have arrived, coming out and say, wow, this event is crazy. It's fantastic. And they can appreciate it just as we appreciate the challenges they have to make the start, as well as keep their boats running and sailing effectively and safely during the Southern Ocean and all that stuff. They can see the challenges we have in running the event, and they're extremely grateful, which is really cool. So we thank all the crews that are doing that. We feel as excited as they are about the fact that we've now arrived in Punta, 3/4 of the way around the world, and everything's looking pretty cool. So here we are, and I think all of us are going to get some good sleep tonight. It was fun to see everyone come in, and we thank the Yacht Club and Aviro and everyone involved with getting us the ribs. And it's super challenging for them today. We were down to 2 ribs today for the last boat, because they've got 90 Optimus dinghies here doing their national championship, and there's a huge demand. They've got about 20 something ribs that they're having to use for the Oppies. And so we did everything with just 2 ribs this afternoon. And we appreciate the efforts that they're going to support us, which is fantastic. Okay, so what have we got here? I'm going to quickly bounce through the comments. I haven't seen the tweets. Jane's got them all up, but I didn't have a look at that. We've been too busy. So check them out, and you'll see what's going on the last 4 on the water. Thanks, Pete. G'day, Nigel. Don, I don't know how you are managing to keep abreast of everything, especially when you're not getting good sleep. Well, you saw what happened to my ETA on Outlaw. That was so funny. First time I'd done that. But, everyone's the same. The crew, we're just a small team, but everyone's into it, and you run on adrenaline, the same as the sailors do when they come in. Some of them haven't been asleep for a while. It's all too exciting, and it was an exciting night. So good fun. But thank you, Virgo. We're lucky to have a good team and a great yacht club. I've got to say, this is the best place in the world. The club is fantastic. They're down there every boat. You've probably seen them if you watch the live. They have the rear commodore. They have the various representatives, managers, blah blah blah. Come down, give them the burgee, give them some grog, all that stuff. It's fantastic. No matter what time, day or night, and right in the middle of all the rugby championships and all the celebrations. Okay, enough of that. But thank you. What will Esprit keep saying about damage causing their anxiety regarding the mast? Oh, they had damage rigging, which caught me a bit because I'd seen it early on, but I get involved with a lot of different things. And yeah, they were really worried about losing the mast, and it was quite an interesting story. So we'll be doing some interviews with entrants in the days ahead. So we'll certainly talk to them about that as well. But they were happy to be here. And now the challenge is to get things done. There's not a lot of what we call yacht services here. They're out in Buenos Aires, and the travel is about 20 miles away, but no one needs to haul out, I don't think, touch wood. But a lot of the smaller stuff is here, so we'll see how that goes. Jonathan, thanks, Jonathan. Hi from Adelaide. Okay, Rob. Oh, actually, Rob is actually on Explorer, but Leslie is, anyway, that's the whole thing there. So big day for everyone here, and we're looking forward to seeing Explorer turn up. Thanks, Ron. Okay, cool. That's it. All right. So enjoy the last bit of your weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow with another update. So thanks a lot. We'll see you later.